The chairman, Kaduna State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Reverend John Joseph Hayab, yesterday expressed concern over the manner those he described as selfish Nigerians want to create confusion in the country with a plot to arrest the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, just because they do not like the policies on Naira redesign and the new cash withdrawal limits. This was just as the Atiku Okowa Presidential Campaign Organization yesterday called for restraint on the move to forcefully remove Emefiele from office, given the sensitivity of his position to the nation's economy. However, the House of Representatives at plenary yesterday re-invited Emefiele to brief them on his recent monetary policies, especially the cash withdrawal limits, which is expected to become effective on January 9, 2023. But the recent revelation of attempt by the Department of State Services, DSS, to arrest and detain Emefiele has continued to elicit responses from Nigerians, including senior advocates of Nigeria. A number of things to look at, detailed report there, and just to talk about what the update is. Dr. Bati.
Okay, let me start with the House of Representatives, because that's the easy part of it. You recall that before now, the Senate had summoned the CBN governor to come and brief the Senate about the policy, the monetary policy relating to the redenomination of high currency notes, and also the threshold for cash withdrawal. And the CBN governor not only promised to make himself available, he also interacted with the Senate. Now, the House of Representatives is also inviting him. This is the second time they will be doing so. The first time, the first date that they gave him, he wrote to them to say that, well, he was going to travel with the president to the United States, which is the U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit. And everybody saw him there. Then on the basis of that, the same House of Reps now said he should appear before it tomorrow. That's Thursday. But all of that will depend on whether the CBN governor is back in the country or not. But it is good to see that, the CBN governor is prepared to engage the National Assembly. However, the House of Representatives, even with Emefiele not appearing yet before the House, had passed a resolution saying that the policy with regard to, withdrawal of cash and the various thresholds that have been defined by the CBN governor, that plan should be suspended. However, it's important to note that, a resolution is really not binding, whether it comes from the parliament or wherever. It's just, advisory and, a piece of advice. And so in that regard, it doesn't have the force of law, so the CBN governor is not compelled, to follow what has been said. And everyone should just realize that under the CBN Act, Section 1 thereof, the CBN is defined to be an independent body. Although in Section 19, the President of Nigeria, his authorization will be required in certain circumstances. For example, if the CBN wants to invest overseas, if the CBN is issuing its financial report, if the CBN is changing currency or redesigning currency. And that's why in this particular matter, the point is always made that the CBN has the support of the president. And the president himself has had to come out openly, at least twice, as reported, to say that, the redesign of those high currency notes has his support. So that's the easy part to deal with. As for the matter of, the Department of State Security trying to arrest the CBN governor and going to court to that effect, a number of issues. One, the DSS, the Department of State Security, is accusing the CBN governor of having been involved in terrorism-related financing, which is curious, because one of the things that this, central bank under Emefiele has tried to do is to introduce policies to check illicit international financial flows from the Nigerian end, to check counterfeiting, to check abuse of the currency. And then just about 2 weeks ago, I think, yeah, I'm right, this same CBN introduced certain policies for the money deposit banks and for all financial institutions in relation to terrorism financing into, such activities. And now we're being told that the Department of State Security has gone to court to say that, they need the permission of the court to arrest the CBN governor. The thing to note, however, is that, yes, nobody is above the law. That's the second point. The third point is that does the Department of State Security, does it need the permission of the court? Okay, since the governor of the central bank does not enjoy constitutional immunity. The section of the Constitution, Section 308, dealing with immunity, is very clear. And the CBN governor is not listed under that. The other point to also note is that if you arrest the CBN governor, this could have implications for the stability of the economy. It could send wrong signals to the investors community and all of that. And that is why in the papers today, some learned, silk are advising that what needs to be done is to get the concurrence of the president, since, what has been, because of the economic, financial implications of, any kind of arrest of the CBN governor. The other point arising from this is that Justice Soho, Chief Justice of the Federal High Court, treated the matter expeditiously. And this is, something that deservedly has been praised by Femi Falana, SAN, who said, look, in this particular instance, what Justice Soho has demonstrated is that where fundamental rights are involved, it's better to treat the matter immediately. And the entire case took 2 days. And what Justice Soho said is instructive. He pointed out that the DSS does not have enough evidence to back up the allegations. Secondly, the judge said the permission of the president of Nigeria must be sought, even if the DSS wants to arrest the CBN governor. So these are some of the basic issues surrounding the case. But more importantly, the point is made that the people going after or persecuting, in quotes, the CBN governor, are persons who feel threatened by the fact that the CBN has introduced a policy that will not make it possible for them to collect so much money for the purposes of politics. And what I find instructive here in this regard is that it has the support of many groups. A national coalition of interest defenders, the National Association of Nigerian Students, the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Kaduna chapter, even if he's not a subject matter expert, has also thrown his weight behind the CBN governor. And then you have, ethnic solidarity groups that are saying, the man has not done anything wrong. And also the spokesperson of the People's Democratic Party, Kola Ologbodunyan, has also issued a statement in support of the CBN governor. In all of these instances, his supporters are claiming that it is politicians who are trying to subvert the CBN. However, last point is that in terms of the currency redesign, the CBN has not done anything that is illegal. It has such powers under the CBN Act, and the president is backing the CBN in that regard. If we have any major concern, it should be that, please, they should make these new notes available.
Thank you. I mean, just to a few things you've spoken about, Dr. Bati, with regards to this analysis, excellent as always, is number one, yes, the chairman of the Kaduna State chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria is not a subject matter expert on this. However, he's spoken as a community leader. And there's a big question he's asked. He's asked that those who are against this policy, what are they hiding? What is it that they are so against it? He's spoken from a position of the terror, the banditry, and security upheavals that they have experienced, particularly in the southern parts of Kaduna, kidnappings, and to them, this policy is a welcome development. So speaking from that angle, he has come up to say that, and speaking tough on that, that why are people against the policy? Now, in the past when we discussed this policy, we talked about, yes, the need for sensitizing the people, the need for ensuring that there's a wider consultation and perhaps a review of the withdrawal limits and a review of the deadline. But the question around the effectiveness of the policy or the importance of the policy has not really been in question. So these are some of the things that we must consider. Thank you all. Thank you, Dr. Bati. That's all on the news headlines.